Hi, hello, welcome to Fearless Beginner Week 1, where we are just learning how to keep the hoop going around our waist, how to get it up, how to keep it up, all that good stuff. So let's dive in. Make sure you have a big hoop like this, something that gives you a lot of room around your waist. You should have plenty of space in here. That's going to give you a lot more time to learn the moves rather than something smaller that's going to move faster and be harder to keep up. If you don't have something like this, it's not the end of the world. You can follow along with this class. It's just probably going to be more of a struggle. So give yourself the benefit of getting a larger hoop if you can. We're just going to stretch a little bit right now. So take your arms up. Whew. And down. Now when you bring your arms up, think about really extending from the waist, bringing your shoulder blades down. You can kind of scrunch your shoulders up and down if you want, just to get some feeling there. We're going to be doing a lot of hooping around the waist, so you want to give yourself a chance to just really warm up and let the body know it's about to start moving. This is an athletic class, so you should be feeling tired by the end of it. Let's do some twists. And I'm going to try to keep this video as unedited as possible, so I'm not perfect. I'm probably going to flub up a bit, but that's just the kind of teacher I am, you know? So it'll be okay. Really get into your sides here when you're twisting. Arms up. Let's keep twisting. Whoo. Okay. Bend forward. I don't know if you can see me on the screen. Bend forward a little bit. Oof. You can bend your knees if you need to. You're just trying to get into the hamstrings. And come up and do a little back bend. My neck popped. Chest up, weight in your heels. Woo. Some arm circles, or shoulder rolls if you prefer, or both, forward and backward. Nothing super extreme here, just getting the body prepared to move. Ugh. Back and forth. Okay. So you can go ahead and pick up your hoops. And the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to getting the hoop going, this class is centered, I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times probably, but this class is designed for absolute beginners who have never picked up a hoop before. So the very first thing we're going to learn is how to properly push your hoop to get it started. There's 3 key components that really help getting the hoop going and keeping it going. The push is the first one we're going to tackle. The second one is 2 points of contact on the hoop. We'll touch on that in a minute. And then moving the weight with your legs. So the movement should come from your legs. We'll get to all of that. But those are the 3 main things we're going to cover in this class and you should really be thinking about. So first of all is the push. A good strong push is super important. Go ahead and pick up your hoops. What we're going to do is we're just going to practice pushing the hoop, and you're not even going to try to keep it going at this point. I just want you to get a sense of the natural momentum of the hoop. So the hoop is naturally, when you give it a good push, which we'll break down in a minute, it'll naturally spin around the waist a few times without you even having to do anything at all. So that's what we're going to explore right now. It's super important to get a nice, strong, even push, because if you do like a limp noodle push, you can see that that doesn't have any momentum at all. If you do a push that's kind of like wonky and not even, it's really hard to recover from that. So you want your push strong and you want it level. So how do you get a strong level push? Well, you want the hoop resting on your back to start, and you just want to be aware that it is lying flat, not up too high, not down too low, and not cockeyed in any sort of way. And you're going to pick a direction to spin the hoop in. One direction is going to feel more natural than the other, and that's normal, unless you're one of the lucky ones who's ambihoopstress. So to start, to get your good, strong push, rather than just having a grip on the hoop like this, I like to rest the hoop on my entire forearm. So I've got all of this area on my arm ready to push the hoop. So you want to wind it up opposite of whatever direction you're about to push. And when you bring the hoop back, you want it to just be like you're closing a door on your stomach or something like that. A nice 90 degree, I guess that's 180 degree movement, and you want power behind it. So as much power as you can get. Boom, like don't be afraid to just beat yourself up. So you want to wind it up and really slam it into your belly button, give it a lot of force. Ideally, you want to give it enough force that it will go completely all the way around your waist, naturally 3 to 4 times without you having to do anything at all. And I would encourage you, so let's just go ahead and try it. We're going to try it on both sides. And normally I would say let the hoop go ahead and fall all the way to the ground, but for this purpose, we're letting the hoop drop intentionally. So it's okay to catch it, but don't catch it until it stops crossing your natural waist. When it starts to fall, that's when you should catch it. So we're just going to repeat that several times. And now the next time you push your hoop and start it, I want you to count how many rotations it's going, count how many times it crosses your belly, including that first push. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 4. So we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 4. About 3 full rotations, since that 1 is that first push. So your push should be strong enough that you can count to 4 before the hoop starts to leave your natural waist area. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that rhythm that you're counting when it's crossing the belly, that's the speed at which you are going to have to push the hoop to keep it up. A little bit slower because it is a faster push to begin with, but that's the natural rhythm and the natural momentum of the hoop. Now that count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is going to be your whole goal, is to just assist the hoop in maintaining that rhythm. You aren't necessarily starting from 0. You're giving yourself something to work with the push. So let me do it from the side a few times. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it's about how much I can get. Okay, and now that you're sick of it, let's do it again on the other side. So opposite direction, give yourself the full forearm, push directly into your stomach. Give yourself the benefit of a fully formed, fully set up push every time. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2. Ooh, excuse me. I was burping. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it 2 more times. I'll do it from the side. I'll do it from this side so you can see a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. And last time. Wind it up, push it. Beautiful. All right. So now your stomach is just dying. We are going to get into the 2 different ways you can push the hoop from 2 points of contact. So one thing I highly recommend, if you aren't doing it already, is to put on some music that you like while you're taking this class. It's going to make everything a little less tedious and feeling like a drill, and make it more fun, like you're bouncing around to a song that you like, and kind of take your mind off some of the pain you might be feeling while you learn these skills. So definitely put on some music if you haven't already, something you like, something that's got a beat, and we are going to talk about key concept number 2, which is 2 points of contact. So some people think that to keep a hoop up you need to make a motion like this, which is not the case. Once you get a little better at, keeping your hoop up and meeting the hoop where it's at, you might be able to do something kind of similar to this. But what you guys want to focus on today is 2 points of contact. And you can either do, I'm going to set this down, you can either do a front to back motion like this, which I call rocking, or you can do a side to side motion like this, which I call wiggling. These are not proprietary terms, they're just how I refer to them. You can call it side to side or front to back, whatever you prefer. Front to back, it doesn't matter which foot you use. We'll try it with both. We'll try it a variety of ways. We're going to try both of these methods in order to get you somewhere where words, they're hard. You want to get to somewhere where it's comfortable for you. One might work better than the other, or neither of them might work that well, but I just want to give you as many options as possible. So I don't know why I picked up the hoop, because I'm going to show you what you need to do. Stand over here. I think you can see me better here. And maybe you can also see my cat. I don't know. So the front to back, hi baby, he's going to help teach. The front to back rocking motion, you're just going to have one foot in front of you, one foot behind, it doesn't matter which, we're going to switch. And you want to make sure that the movement is coming from your legs. That's key number 3. All the movement is going to come from your legs. So you don't want to go back and forth like this from your hips, like hinging from your hips. You want to bend your knees and shift your weight back and forth like this. Whoop, he's putting me off my balance. Back and forth like this. And you're going to have to go a little faster than that. It might also help you to kind of lift your heels up and do a little bounce. Bounce. Or even just like pick this front foot up and step into the hoop as it crosses you, because every time you step, it pops your stomach forward. So your 2 points of contact when you're going like this is your belly and your back. Your belly and your back are going to push into the hoop and give it the momentum it needs to make another rotation and another rotation and so on after that initial push. Sweet boy, are you helping me teach? I don't know if you can see my cat down here, but he's like, oh, cat time. Yeah. So that's rocking, and we'll get into that in more depth in just a minute. And then the other method is wiggling. So again, you've got your legs spread, it doesn't really matter how far, just a comfortable distance, and the movement is coming from your knees. You don't want to go side to side, bending at the hips. You want to make sure that your torso is straight, your shoulders are back, and all of that momentum is coming from your knees. You can kind of hear my knee cracking right now. That's great. And again, you're going to have to kind of add some bounce to it. It's also okay for your hips to kind of do a little bit of like a pop to the side, not super a lot, but it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be rigid or super stiff up here. You want it to be loose, but you want to be upright. You want to avoid looking down at your hoop, because as soon as you look down, look what happens to my body. It goes down, right? And that's how a lot of people drop the hoop at first. They're looking down and they're like, why can't I keep it up? So you want your shoulders back, chest up, whether you are wiggling or rocking. You want to be upright and let your legs do all the work. So we're going to give both of those a try in both directions. So rocking, pick a leg, any leg. I'm actually going to pick this leg, I think, and put it out in front and go ahead and get into that bounce, rocking back and forth. So from here, you're going to go ahead and wind up your hoop. Go ahead and do a few more pushes to get a sense of that rhythm. 1, 2, woo, 3, 4. See, I pushed it a little too high and it popped up on me that time. So let me get set and really focus. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4 is about what I should be going for when I pump. So let's start. Let's try it. For right now, I'm just going to keep my my feet flat on the floor and try to push into it with just my knees. Okay, so you can feel it start to go around those initial times. Get a sense for that rhythm. Push, 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 push. Every time it crosses your belly, that's what I want you to focus on. So let the back push just happen naturally. We're just pushing in belly, 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 belly. Cool? Woo! And you can switch feet. One foot might feel better in front than the other. Push, push, push. If you want to try lifting your heels and getting a little bounce, you can try that. You can switch feet again. Boom, boom, bounce, bounce. If you're not sure what to do with your arms, I'm just holding them out right now. It's a good idea to kind of practice keeping your arms out or up rather than like this pose right here. This is a common beginner pose called the T-Rex. But if you're putting everything into just trying to keep the hoop going right now, I'll allow the T-Rex. It's fine, whatever you need to do. So now keep going the same direction you were, but try just picking up that front foot and stepping down whenever the hoop is crossing your belly. Step, 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 step. That same rhythm. Switch feet. This is so much easier without a cat right where I'm trying to step. Step, 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 step. Try that out a few times. Okay, and now we're going to try all of that in the other direction. So, I can't remember if I've said this already, but one direction is going to be easier than the other. And I think I did because I remember thinking like I should make a One Direction joke, and I didn't. So one direction is going to be a lot easier than the other. It's normal to have one that's just really hard. I had one student call it her flat tire direction because it just feels awkward. One direction feels a little more smooth and the other one feels a little more awkward. But we're going to try it in both because you might find that the direction you started with is actually your flat tire direction and the other direction is a little easier for you. So one foot out, get all set up, give yourself the benefit of a nice strong push. Feel that rhythm and start shifting your weight into it. From the feet, your torso is straight up and down, shoulders back, and also think about keeping your chin up. Because sometimes it's easy to like, oh, my torso's straight, but I'm gonna look down with my eyes. Don't even try it. Just focus on the feeling of the hoop crossing over your belly and trust that that's gonna get you there. If you have a mirror, you can try using a mirror. Some people find mirrors distracting. Go ahead and switch feet. You can stop the hoop and start it again when you switch feet if that is easier for you. Hold your arms in a position that's comfortable. Push, push, push. Belly, belly, belly. Feel that rhythm. If you want, you can start bouncing on your heels. Try that. See if that helps. Switch your feet again. Try bouncing on your heels with both feet. And then let's try stepping when the hoop crosses your belly. Step, 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 step. Okay. And that's opposite direction. Whoo! Okay, so that's rocking. There are a lot of different ways to try rocking. And the other way is wiggling. So when we were rocking, the main point of contact we were focusing on was our belly. And the contact with the back was happening kind of automatically. But when you're wiggling, it's almost more like the point of contact is going diagonal through your body, like pew, pew, through here, depending on which direction you're going. So if I'm pushing the hoop with my right arm, that point of contact is going to be not quite the exact side, but more kind of like this front side bit. And then the back side bit will happen automatically. So when you're wiggling, you want to kind of think about not just pushing to the side, but also pushing to the side and just a smidge forward. So if I were using this arm to push, then it would be this side here that would be my initial point of contact. So let's practice the motion a little bit first. You're going to get down into your knees and just go side to side. And it can help to get, like, if your knees will allow it to get kind of low in this, sometimes that's really helpful. Sometimes it's not, so we'll try it both ways. You can also do a little bounce. I'm picking my feet up now. I don't know if you can see, but you can do a little bounce if that works for you. We'll try both ways. Okay. So we've got our hoop. You want to go in whatever direction is easier for you first. It's always good to get a little wind in first. So you're going to wind up, push real hard, find that rhythm, and start pushing in. So I'm pushing in with this side here since I pushed with this arm. And I'm letting this side happen automatically. I've got a very small little hip hop going. My torso is straight up and down, shoulders are back. Here's from the side. And I'm just shifting my weight from one foot to another in that rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? So, let me finish this first and then I'll mention that. You can add a little bounce. It's actually kind of hard for me. So, you can try it. Try picking your feet up, see if that helps. You can try getting a little bit lower into your knees, like this. If that's too hard, just come back up. I've been finding it almost like levels out my torso. Why can't I remember the word for torso? It almost like just levels out my torso a little bit to where it's easier to focus on the hoop. But it also requires a lot of strength. And if you're just struggling to keep up the hoop and that's not helping, just stand like a normal person. Like a normal person who is standing wide-legged and rocking back and forth. Wiggling back and forth. Okay, now let us try all that in the other direction. So wind it up. Woo, send it around. And once you got your rhythm going, boom, boom, boom. Start wiggling with your focus on that side, pushing into that side to keep the hoop up. Good. From the side. That's what it looks like. Boom, 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 boom. If you want to try, if you want to try a little bounce, you can. Pick up your heels. Can help a little bit, depending. If you want to get down into your knees and try that, you can. Just at least try it all, because you might find something that surprises you that helps. There, I meant to stop. So one thing that can help in all of this, no matter if you're rocking or wiggling, one thing that can help is turning in the same direction as the hoop. Turning. So whatever direction you initially pushed, that is the direction you want to turn. It's going to slow the hoop down a little bit in relation to your body, so you actually have a little bit more time to kind of practice what you're doing, whether that is rocking or wiggling. So turning can help. So if you find the hoop falling a lot, try doing a little turn first. All right. Go ahead and take a quick water break, and then we're going to do an exercise. Okay, so go ahead and pick out a song that you really like. It's about 3 to 4 minutes long, and we're just going to practice what we've just learned. But while you're listening to music and while you're actively, you can try rocking, you can try wiggling, and then there's one other thing I'm going to throw in towards the end. But just try to keep the hoop on your waist as long as you can. It's okay if it falls, just pick it back up. This time, when the hoop falls though, I want you to just let it fall. Don't try to grab it and stop it. Go ahead and let it fall so that you can kind of start to learn what's happening when it falls. If it's falling all the time and you're getting tired of bending over to pick it up, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do. But I would encourage you to try at least a few times to just kind of let it fall and see if you can move in a way that might catch it based on what we've already done. Okay? So go ahead and pick a song, get it started, and let's get going. So you can turn, you can wiggle, you can rock, whatever's easier for you. And just really focus on keeping the hoop going. Every time you drop and have to start the hoop again, really make an effort to focus on that initial push. So if you haven't tried turning yet, go ahead and try that. See how that feels. Keep focusing on your belly, pushing into your belly every time the hoop crosses. Try rocking a little bit. And then switching feet. And then wiggling. And see if you can transition between all of those. Whoop. And for the next minute or so, I want you to think about picking your feet up and marching while you're hooping. Every time you set your foot down, it's going to naturally pop your belly out. So it's going to give you a little bit boom, 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 boom of like natural push. See if that helps as well to keep the hoop going. You can keep turning, you can march in place, whatever's easier for you, whatever seems to be working. Give yourself the benefit of that. Boom, boom, boom. March, march, march. We're going to do just a little bit more marching. If you're getting tired, you can take a break, but do your best to keep the hoop on the whole song. Whenever your song ends is fine. Oops. All right. Now let's go ahead and switch directions. And again, try everything out. Rocking, wiggling, whatever you want. And now, march, march. You can march in place, you can turn, whatever is easier for you. If you're like, Jess, I can barely keep the hoop going in this direction, why are you making me march? Do whatever you can. Just keep trying in your opposite direction for a little bit longer. All right, now go ahead and just go back to your dominant direction, whatever's easiest for you, and hoop around the waist however you want until the end of your song. So you can go ahead and take a quick break if you want, and we are going to do one more exercise when you come back. Alright, so I've got one more exercise we're going to do to wrap up the class. This one is just kind of trying to get you a better sense of what exactly is going on in your waist area while you're hooping. You're just going to focus really hard on the different parts of your waist. That's the whole exercise. I got this exercise from Baxter of the Hoop Path. He's really good at just like taking these individual concepts and kind of drilling them down to super basics. And this is something I really like as far as just getting a sense for what you're doing. So what we're going to do is split our waist, not actually metaphorically, into 4 quadrants. And then we're going to spend some time in the hoop on the waist. I'm giving you a little break right now because I know we're doing a lot. But we're going to put the hoop on our waist and really pay attention to each of those quadrants one at a time. Excuse me. So whichever hand you're pushing the hoop with, from that side to your belly button, that's quadrant number 1. From your belly button to the opposite side is quadrant number 2. From that same side to mid-back is quadrant number 3. And mid-back to your first side is quadrant number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are metaphorical quadrants, and all we're going to do is put the hoop around the waist, hoop however you want. You can stay stationary, you can turn, whatever you want to do that's easier for you. And we're just going to shift our awareness from each quadrant. You don't have to hoop any differently. You don't have to do anything different. You just have to think about the different quadrants. And notice, just notice. Well, I'll give you things to notice in a minute. Let's go ahead and get started. So, get your hoop going, big push. Get into a comfortable rhythm. And I'm going to stand straight so you can see what I'm doing. But you can move, you can turn, you can rock, you can wiggle, do whatever you want. Hold your arms however you want. We're going to get into arms a lot more next week, so don't worry, I'll give you stuff to do with them. But for now, once you get into your rhythm and you're starting to feel comfortable, just pay attention to quadrant number 1. If you're wiggling, this should be the quadrant that you're pushing from. So you can focus on how the hoop is hitting your body, how your body is pushing into the hoop from that area. You can think about the movement coming up from your leg into your torso at that area. Just think about what it feels like right there. That's all the exercise is. It's just awareness on that one spot. Okay, now let's move on to quadrant 2. Same thing. You don't need to push any harder from this quadrant. Just think about it. And notice how just shifting your awareness from one side to the other kind of adds some nuance, right? You might be like, I don't know what's going on. I can't tell one quadrant from the other. That's fine. If you're confused right now, just try to keep the hoop going and focus on trying to keep it level and in one line around your waist the whole time. But if you can pay attention to quadrant 2, this one right here, think about how the hoop is hitting it. How is your body hitting it? The rhythm from your legs, the rhythm from your torso. How's that all, affecting what's going on over here? Okay? Change nothing about your hooping. Just start thinking about quadrant 3. That's back to your opposite side here. Just think about that section of your body. And notice how when you start paying attention to your back, you almost get a little more upright. At least I do. You might not. But it's really interesting to see the changes, slight, minuscule changes, like nobody watching would probably even notice, but just like little changes that happen when you pay attention to a specific area of the body. So think about the hoop rolling over this quadrant, your body interacting with the hoop, and the rhythm from your legs. It's going to be the same every time. Okay? And finally, we're going to switch to Quadrant 4. Quadrant 4 is right back there. So it should be the quadrant right behind where you do that initial push. So this is an interesting quadrant for me because I have slight bend in my spine, and for me, this is the quadrant that is doing the least amount of work. Like all my other 3 quadrants are kind of compensating for this part of my back not being so great. And bringing awareness to it is really helpful because I can really feel that's my weak spot. And I can maybe think about trying to activate it a little bit more if I wanted to, because I'm keeping the hoop up okay, but it might be beneficial to try and add a little bit of push there as well. So if you notice, we'll go around one more time thinking about each of the quadrants. Go ahead, you can keep hooping if you want, or you can put the hoop down, but you can just think about your whole body as your body. No quadrants right now. But the next time we go around, try to see if one quadrant is maybe a little bit harder to access, or you don't feel the push coming from it as strongly, and just notice it. You don't have to do anything about it today. It's just something to think about so that you can have a better awareness of your body. So we're going to go quadrant all the way around one more time. Not going to spend as much time this time. And then we'll switch directions and do it again on the other side. Yay! Okay, so if you've put your hoop down, go ahead and put it back on the waist. Nice big push. Find your rhythm. Okay, and now we're going to shift the awareness to Quadrant 1. And then to Quadrant 2. Quadrant 3. Here. And Quadrant 4 right here. Okay. And now you can stop. Stop the hoop. Take a short break. Grab some water. I will grab some water too. We're going to do all of that in the other direction. Okay. So, when you're ready, go ahead and put the hoop back on, and nice strong push in your opposite direction. So, I should mention before we start that the quadrants are going to change now. Whichever hand does the push, that's where Quadrant 1 is, and it just goes all around the body. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So wind it up, push, get your rhythm going. Don't worry about the quadrants right now. Just get the hoop to stay up if you can. If you're still struggling just to keep the hoop up at this point, don't worry about doing this exercise right now. You can always come back to it. And I've got a shorter version, hopefully, in this lesson available if you just want to come back to this exercise. So, here we go. Quadrant 1. Just shift your awareness there. Again, if you're wiggling, this should be the quadrant you are pushing from. Think about the hoop crossing over this area of your body, how your body is responding when the hoop crosses over it, and the rhythm of the push from your legs going up into this quadrant. Woo! I lost it. It's okay. I should have just let it fall, right? I'm not following my own instructions. All right. Quadrant 2. If it falls, just pick it right back up and keep on trying. So we're just focusing on Quadrant 2 and noticing if anything shifts in the way you're hooping, in the way you're holding your stomach, anything, your posture, just by bringing awareness to this quadrant. I almost noticed my abs tightening up a little bit, like, ooh, need to pay more attention here and get it together. You don't have to do anything, as I said, just pay attention. Hoop rolling over the body pushing into the hoop, leg pushing up into the quadrant. Okay, and now quadrant 3. So right now that's right here for me. I'm hooping to my right side. Excuse me, my goodness. So again, we're thinking about the hoop rolling over your body pushing into the hoop, and the rhythm of your leg coming up from the ground into your quadrant. And then finally, quadrant 4, right back here. Slide your awareness right on over there. Woo! That threw me off. Again, I didn't let it fall. I'm a bad example. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. You know what? I'm going to let it fall just once so that I have to bend over and pick it up. Feel for you guys. Okay. So 4th quadrant, we're focusing there. And it's interesting to me, it's very interesting to me how thinking about your back can activate so much. I think I said that already, so just pretend it's new information if I hadn't. But that back quadrant, think about the hoop rolling over the back, the body interacting with the hoop, the foot pushing up from the ground. And now just keep hooping, but relax, or you can stop hooping if you want, that's fine. We're going to do it one more time. We're going to go quicker this time. And just, because I'm sure you're getting tired. It's okay. And then we'll do one song of free hoop after this. And then you'll be done with your first hoop class. So go ahead and put the hoop back around opposite direction. If you put it down, find your rhythm. And we'll go through them one more time. So quadrant 1, awareness on quadrant 1. Quadrant 2. Quadrant 3. And quadrant 4. Yay! You can stop hooping. Okay, so whatever level you're at right now, however much of that you are able to do, good job. This is a lot of waist hooping. It's really intense and requires a lot of energy. So if you're sweating, that's normal, that's good. If you're sore, that's normal and good. You're probably gonna feel it in the morning. You might have some hoop bruises. That is also normal. The more you do it, the more those fade. The reason the hoop leaves bruises in the beginning is because sometimes it's kind of clunky, like you can't quite get that smooth rhythm going around. So if the hoop like jumps and hits you kind of harder than you're expecting, that's what can leave a bruise. But as you get comfortable with the hoop and it starts to smooth out your rhythm, you are going to find that you get less bruises. Okay? So now we are going to take, the next 3 to 4 minutes and just free hoop. So pick a song that you like, any song that's 3 to 4 minutes long that you can really get into. And we're just going to waist hoop. And I want you to feel the difference between before we did the quadrant exercise, when we were doing, the free hoop at that point, versus now. See if you notice if it's any easier or a little more fluid or anything like that during this free hoop. So go ahead and press play on your track and put your hoop around your waist, whichever direction you want. We will reverse it at least once and just hoop however you want. Whatever you want to do with your arms, I would try to at least pull them away from the body, but even if all you're doing is holding them out to the side, that's something. Again, we're going to get into arms a lot more next week, so don't worry. You can turn, you can stand still, whatever you want to focus on as you're hooping. Again, if the hoop falls, go ahead and let it. Really start to hone in on the rhythm of the song you're listening to. I hope you are listening to a song of some sort, because I want you to kind of dance a little bit. If you feel comfortable, kind of let your body sort of start to move in that song, in that rhythm, the way you would maybe if you didn't have a hoop, at whatever level you feel comfortable. Again, if you're just trying to keep the hoop up, don't stress about moving with the song, but it can sometimes make it a lot easier to feel the song rather than trying to focus on all these tips and techniques. Like, if I had music right now, I probably would not be slipping the hoop down as much as I am. And we'll go over how to save the hoop next week as well. Next week we're going to be talking a lot about timing and rhythm. So right now in this exercise, you're hopefully just starting to get a sense for moving along with the rhythm of the hoop. And next week we're really going to drill down into the hoop's natural timing and rhythm and get a better sense for that. Just kind of rock and groove, and let's go ahead and switch directions. Everyone's favorite. Going in the opposite direction. Again, try to free your hands up from the body. Feel free to turn or stand still, rock, wiggle. Think about your stomach pushing into the hoop every time it crosses. If there were any quadrants in particular that you found it helpful to focus on during that last exercise, you can pick one of those and hoop into that. You can try kind of stepping around. Whoop. Try not to knock into things. She says as she knocks into things. If you have the space, I know not everyone has very much space, but you can kind of step into those quadrants and see what that feels like. Go ahead and go back to your dominant direction and try stepping into those quadrants and see how that feels. And go ahead and focus on that until the song winds down. Move your arms. Okay. If you've still got a little bit of song left, go ahead and keep going. But that was it for week 1. You did it. You survived. I would recommend taking the time to kind of cool down, do a little bit of stretching. I'm going to make sure the camera's still going. Yes, it is. Okay. So go ahead and cool down, stretch out a little bit, reach up your arms. Definitely side to side with the waist. You've done a lot. Good job. I'm proud of you. If you feel like you have made a lot of progress from this class and you feel comfortable sharing, I would encourage you to film a progress video and post it in Share Your Progress. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, I would at least encourage you to take a progress video for yourself to look back on as you continue through the class. Let's go ahead and twist. Whew. Just whatever you feel comfortable with. But I really like the progress videos. I'm going to harp on those. I love having something to look back on from when I first started hooping and just seeing how far I have come. Here's one you can do. Like this. Bring your arms up. And switch. It feels good. Whatever stretching feels good to you right now. Okay. All right. Well, if you made it all the way through this class, congratulations. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week.